Hello guys, so today's video is going to be a way more chill one. I'm just going to take you through this look, my current everyday makeup routine. If you don't care for the base at all, I will put a timestamp on the screen for you to skip to everything else. Throughout this video, I'm sharing also like little mini hack, if you will, about how I apply my makeup, why I do certain things and things like that. So if you want to know the secrets to my makeup, keep watching. But I'd like to welcome our sponsor for today's video, Rose Forever New York. They sent over some new roses and I'm here to tell you guys about their Mother's Day sale that they're having. Guys, Mother's Day is on May 14th, okay? That is on a Sunday. I think it's the second Sunday of the month. And Rose Forever is where it's at to get high quality luxury roses that are preserved with natural oils and ingredients. They're vegan and allergen free, so you don't have to worry about any sniffles whenever you're gifting these to somebody who might have allergies. They last up to a year, but I've said this many times before that they have lasted the test of time. I've still got mine, my mom still has hers, and this set is a fresh set. This is the Intense Love Black Velvet box with 36 white roses, and they have plenty options of rose colors as well as box type. They have these velvet with the heart shape, circle shape, square shape. There is like clear acrylic. I've showed you guys that before. There's a pink velvet box. Like, there's so many options, so you're definitely gonna find something that either you like, or if you're gifting this to a mother or a mother figure or anybody, they're gonna like it. Long story short, and you're gonna get your money's worth because, like I said, these last for more than a year in my opinion, and they're preserved with the highest quality ingredients, and the best roses are picked by professional artisans themselves. So if you want to get your Mother's Day shopping done early, be sure to shop Rose Forever New York at the link in the description, and you can use my code ERLINE25 for $25 off of your order. Save some shmoola. You're welcome. And with all that said, thank you so much to Rose Forever for sponsoring today's video, and now we can actually get on with the video. Yes, I'm gonna have AirPods in my ears. I know it's a little bit of a head ass thing to do. If I'm just like going to school or something, or just having a day like running errands, everything after the base is what I do on a normal basis. I already put on moisturizer, sunscreen. I also put on this Inky List Brighten Eye cream. This is one of my new favorite eye creams. When I'm not using the retinol version, I just use this because it has nothing in it, just to lighten up my eyes, and I feel like it helps with like my concealer and stuff later. Then color correcting. You guys know I love color correcting. Specifically, I use red to cancel out any like dark spots or unevenness, so I'm gonna put that under my eyes, a little bit around my mouth, and if I have any like problem areas. But I tend to have a little bit of discoloration around my nose. I always get spots right here around my mouth especially. I don't even really squeeze the bottle either, to keep this as lightweight as possible, because I think I'm doing about 3 layers to make my base. I keep all my layers of concealer and stuff very thin, so I use just whatever leftover product is on the brush, and if I'm swiping and really nothing is coming off, that's when I squeeze something out. I let that sit for a little bit. I do it for all my concealers, and then that's how I'm going to blend it out with a beauty blender. I've actually been trying a new concealer technique. I did it for my last video that I just uploaded, and when I filmed, I feel like my face looked very good, so I'm going to keep doing that. And I got it from Pinterest. It's like Douyin, like kind of concealer hacks right there, so that's what I'm going to do. All she's using is like a more skin tone concealer directly under her eye, using a brightening one under that around the nose, and another similar skin tone concealer around the mouth. I feel like it highlights the areas that need to be highlighted without you having like a big white streak of bright under eyes, you know what I mean? I'm just blending out the color corrector. I noticed ever since using the color corrector, I mean, duh, my concealer just looks better when you have neutralized colors underneath. No matter how dark like your dark circles or dark spots are, they're gonna look a way better when you put actual concealer foundation over. So if you have a similar skin tone to me or darker, I do recommend you get red or orange color corrector to neutralize your dark spots, and then put on your concealer foundation or even powder. Like, it helps just so much for everything to actually look better. And even like just now, like my face, I feel like just looks better. All right, so as for the concealer, I do use the Morphe 2 concealers. For the lighter color, I use Peak of Soft Tan, and for the darker color, I use Peak of Tawny. So I'm gonna use Peak of Tawny, the darker color, around my mouth and a little bit closer to my under eye, and then the brighter one right underneath that. Right there. Like basically the crease. I'll put some around the nose just a little bit. For this, I also sometimes dab some concealer off the doe foot so it's not too heavy, because while this concealer is great, it's best to go with a lighter hand. I'm also gonna put a little bit right here above my eye to lift my eyes, just a smidge on my nose. And let's draw a line up here for fun. I sometimes do that. And you also let that dry and set a little bit before you blend. So I'm gonna let this dry for a sec and come back. I'm gonna blend the skin tone colors first, and then I'll go back and do the letter colors. To blend it out, I'm also not just like patting it and keeping it in one place. I'm kind of dragging the Beauty Blender with each bounce to help diffuse the colors together a bit more, so they blend a little bit nicer instead of you just like seeing dark, light, you know what I mean? And also to help drag the concealer up instead of down, so as to lift my face rather than bring it down. Okay, this is great. I love this already. So this is what my face is looking like. I'm eating it up. I just feel like this concealer look makes everything look way more like closer to what my face would actually look like if it were this perfect, which is why I like this concealer technique rather than what I was doing before. We're gonna move to powder. You guys know I use the Beauty Bakery Flower Setting Powder. This is the almond chestnut color. I'm pretty sure it's the darkest one they have. I don't take much because I don't like a super matte look, so I honestly just take whatever's in the cap. I'm gonna take a different little brush here and just put it there. I tap it in and I try to keep it right under the under eye because I don't like a matte look all over my face. I put it over my eyelids too so my eyelids don't crease. I like my makeup to look as close to my skin as possible, so that's why I prefer a dewy look over a matte one, but obviously you cannot have your under eyes creasing. So I also make sure to put some around my mouth so I don't get mouth creases either. Boom, my face looks so good. And as to set the rest of the face, I literally take whatever last brush I used for powder and just swipe it on my face. I don't dip it in anything. I just swipe whatever is on here over my face and it works. I try to get some leftovers from the under eye powder and just put that all over because it helps not make everything so matte doing it this way instead of dipping straight into a powder. And now I'm going to use some setting spray quite early, but I don't like to use it later after I put on my mascara. Not much, and this helps bring some of the dew back. I love it. Then I'm gonna do a little bit of a nose contour. For this I use the Juvia's Place Bronzed Deep Dark Bronzer palette. I really love it because it's so pigmented, so you don't have to go in with a heavy hand, and I go in with an e.l.f. What brush is this? I think this is the e.l.f. blending brush to do it. So I'm also using another Douyin guide for this, and I find this method looks way better than what I was doing before as well. So I'm gonna do, I dip in the darker color, brown, dark brown one more time, tap it off. I just always make sure I last off with this brown one instead of this one because this is a little bit too like purpley, but this is actually dark enough to show up on my skin because this one doesn't show up on my skin on its own. I'm gonna draw a line here and always dip back in if you need it. So you kind of start like wherever your nose begin to flare and bring it up into your eyebrow, and try to keep the line as inward as you can. Don't make it too fat because then it's gonna have a reverse effect. I contour my nose like this because this is what my nose looks like when I have my glasses on for too long and the nose pads press on my nose, and I actually like the look of that, so that's how I contour my nose. Funny, no? Then you want to dip back into it if you need more product. Go around your nose tip right there and just go there. Kind of make a diamond around the tip. Do you see that? That looks crazy right now, but I promise it's gonna look good. And I'm gonna put a little bit just around here, around the nose flares, and then I recommend you go in with a clean brush to blend this out, but if not, go in with your fingers, which is typically what I end up doing, and just blend it out. I go back in with the brush if I feel like I need to bring the color back out. And also mind the way this looks because we are going to actually use highlighter. It's going to look way better when you have highlight too. So that's why I'm like, just bear with me. However, if it is absolutely a necessity, feel free to go in with whatever setting powder you use, assuming it's a little bit lighter than your skin tone, and just tap, tap, tap. I'm going to bring that bridge back out. But again, this is going to be highlighted later, so it doesn't really matter. I'm actually going to spray a little bit more setting spray. And then once you're done with this part, the base is pretty much done. After that, that's when you add your blush, your highlight, and I'm going to get into that. So for highlight, I have been religiously using the Dior Backstage Glow Face palette that my best friend got me for Christmas. I love it because I don't even feel the need to use a brush, which is why I use it every day. I dip into my fingers and just go to town. I put this in like 3 or 4 places. I put this this in my inner corner of my eye, on the unders of my eyebrow tails, on my cheekbones, and my nose tip and nose bridge. Sometimes my cupid's bow. So for my cheeks, I dip into the peach and bronze color, the bottom two. Tap, tap, tap first, then I drag. If I don't have any like base on, I literally just go in and just like drag it on there and it works, and I love it. It's just so quick and easy. I love it. And because my face is still a little bit tacky from the setting spray, I feel like it helps with just making it stick a lot better. As you can tell, the embossing on the darker brown bronze color is pretty much gone because I dip into that like every single time I use this. So because I was just so tired of using a brush, you know, it's just not quick enough. Once I do that, I dip into the darker brown color, and this top, it's called Glitter Strobe Pink Gold. I love this one for my nose. So I put some on the bridge right there, and it just adds like the most natural boop, you know what I mean? I don't know how else to explain it. And this goes back to what I was saying earlier, the nose looks way better after you add the highlighter. And I'm gonna put a little bit on my cupid's bow, just the pink one. For my inner corners, I also use the same combo of the brown and the pink gold, and I drag it a little bit down into the pocket of tear duct. And if I feel like I need a little bit more sparkle, I just go back in with the pink gold. I love this pink gold lately, it looks so good. And then for under my brows, I also use the same combination. And if I do feel like I want a little bit more sparkle, I go with the pink gold on my cheeks and just dab a little bit. To bring back out some of the nose contour, I'm gonna take whatever's left over on the brush that I used and kind of carve out my nose tip a little bit, just so there's like some definition between the bridge and the tip. And that's the base right there. These days I haven't been into blush as much, so I'm gonna skip it and go to my brows. So if you're someone who doesn't know how to do their brows, but you kind of have a nice natural shape and template to work with, this is what my brows look like when I just make sure I have my like growing back hairs trimmed. I have severely cut down my brow routine, and this is what I do. So I just draw a line at the front to bring my brows a little bit closer together, super faint, and then fill in the tail. That's it. That is it. I do the same thing on the other side, and instead of trying to bring whatever you're drawing down so as to make your brows look thicker, I kind of push the line in. So instead of like starting down here, for example, and drawing the line, I'm gonna start a little bit up so I don't have too thick of a brow, if that makes any sense, because I don't like my brows too thick or too dark. And then once you blend it out, it literally looks professional as hell. And I don't even use brow gel, like I just leave my brows how they are, and this is how they look. Now my favorite part is mascara. Guys, you have to use a lengthening mascara. Like, it is in my Bible, my beauty Bible, to always use lengthening mascara. I'm gonna take some of this Wet n Wild Boost Me Up like lash and brow serum as a primer. To apply my mascara, I find the best method for me is to blink while applying it so that it goes from root to tip. And with a fresh tube of lengthening mascara along with this technique is absolutely golden. I love it so much. And I also don't curl my lashes anymore. I find that a lash curler makes my lashes crimp and bend in a way I do not like, so I'm going to show you how I curl my lashes instead. While I don't use a tool to curl them anymore, this helps them be lifted and stuff like that with the way that I do it, so I'll show you guys that. And then I go in with the L'Oreal Telescopic Carbon Black Lengthening Mascara. For my black and brown girls watching this video, please stop with the brown black mascara colors, okay? You have to get carbon black of everything. They have carbon black L'Oreal Telescopic, they have Sky High, and the like cosmic black color. I would always look at like lighter skinned girls and be like, why can I see their mascara but I cannot see mine on their eyes? And that's because I'm using a color, was using a color that wasn't even dark enough to really show up from a distance. So get the blackest black mascara you can and use that only. And I do a first layer on both eyes, let it set for a little bit, and go in with a second layer. I'll also show you guys how I take off my excess mascara on my lids if that's an issue for you. After the lengthening mascara, you can either use a combo of a volumizing and lengthening for the like third or fourth coat, which is what I'm doing with the Sky High and Go Crazy. I'm actually going to use some of the Definer Lash too by Maybelline. Always make sure you use the tip of the wand to get that back corner lash and lashes. So I'm done with the mascara. I'm going to let this dry a little bit and show you guys how I take off any mascara that got on my lids as well as curl my lashes. I'm going to show you another one of my little hacks, if you will. It's not really a hack, pretty well known, but I go ahead and take a liquid liner. This is from Wet n Wild because I do not care about my liquid liners at all, and do a little extra flick on the back corner to act as my lash. I feel like it's very hard to use mascara to accentuate your back lashes, so that's why I do this, to add more of a fan effect to my eyes. Do a little quick line, nothing crazy. It's so easy. Just don't be nervous, just flick it. It's gonna look good, I promise. And that's literally it. I don't even know if you can see, but still waiting for the lashes to dry, so I'm gonna go and do the lips. This is my combo. A lot of you guys always ask me about like what's on my lips, what glosses do I use. So first I do 2 different lip liners now. I finally found a combo I like. So I go ahead and start off with a berry kind of wine colored liner. This one is from NYX in the color Auburn, and then this one is from LA Girl in the color Berry Wine. Doesn't matter which one I use because these are the same. I have a little bit of chapstick on, which I do on purpose because I don't want the color to show up too much, if you know what I mean. And I overline the top just a tad. Diffuse it with my fingers. Then I go in with my Rosewood Dior lip balm. This is my favorite. You guys know this. It's a My Lips But Better color to act as my lipstick. And this has some of the liner color on it because I use it so much. Then take a brown liner, at least specifically for my brown and black girlies. Go over it around your mouth with that to bring some dimension and color back to the lips. And make sure you especially hit this top lip. This liner kind of sucks, so I need to get another one. I even color sometimes a little bit lower than just the outline of my lips. And then once that's done, I go in with either you can go a clear lip gloss, but I just go ahead and use my Dior lip plumping gloss to maintain the liner color and so I don't screw up my other clear glosses. And that's what I do for my lips. When I'm just using a regular lip gloss though, I use the LA Colors High Shine. You guys always ask what gloss I use. This is it. It's $1 and some change at the beauty supply store or Dollar Tree, like literally so cheap, you can find it anywhere. First, let me actually get the extra mascara off. Take a spoolie and just rub it off. It's so easy. It's easy to do it when it's dry. That's why I do it this way. And it's gone like magic. Then to curl my lashes, I just take my finger, push my lash line against my eyeball, and it like lifts the lashes because they're all like stiff and hard. And make sure to push on the actual like root of the lash and not like the tips and stuff so that they don't like stick together and stuff at the top. You just hold it for a few seconds and it'll have all your lashes lifted without an eyelash curler. And then once that's done, the makeup is finished. So I'm gonna do my hair, put on my outfit, and then I'll come back to you guys and give the final look and close the video. So this is the finished look, if you I'm wearing this brown top. It has like a cinch detail here and I just kept it pretty low. And then these are the same flare jeans from Temu that I showed in an Ectopia video. And then I'm wearing some hoogie hoops from Ana Luisa and this bracelet from Shein. So yeah, that is it for this video. Again, thank you so much to Rose Forever for partnering with me. Please be sure to hit up their Mother's Day sale. Use code Erlane25 at checkout for $25 off of your order. Get something cute for your mom or just anybody in your life or yourself because there's so many options to choose from on the site.
Oh, I can say peekaboo.
Hi. If you're new to my channel, what's up? My name is Erlane St. Cyr. I am 21 years old and I really appreciate it if you could give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. You can follow me on social media at Erlane St. Cyr on everything. Down below will also be my card website and my buy me a cup of coffee link if you want to support this video or this channel in another way. But of course, your viewership means the world to me. So with all that said, I love y'all so much and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.